What are we doing here?
I don't remember. What are we doing?
I thought bots was over.
I thought we were done. Since they pulled us
I just
back
woke up from a nap.
maybe we should do one last thing and maybe announce all the winners. What do you guys? And then some stats.
Sure.
We can do that.
Let's do it.
All right. So let's first go over the APAC winners. Mr. Harold, will you do the honors?
Sure. APAC was the first of the 3 events to run. It was very exciting, super well attended. It was sort of in the evening for us, so we were still kind of fresh. It was really exciting to see the close competition. We'll start with 3rd place. One of the best team names in all of Splunk bots this year was You Splunk My Battleship. We loved it. It's Ben Luo, Alexander Chambers, Mark Eldridge, Nicholas Sharp, all from the Defense Science and Technology Group in Australia, so congratulations. 2nd place was Team Rivium, made up of Luke Monahan, Cameron Just, Michael Bates. Congratulations, great job, Rivium, great score. 1st place in APAC, super excited to announce Ratatouille, made up of, great job, Ratatouille. You may see some more from Ratatouille in the coming slides. Made up of Yanhua Chen, Tan Bing Hao, Ying Hor Kok, and Wu Shu Kai. And my apologies for any pronunciation errors. All from the Government Technology Agency of Singapore. So thanks for joining from Singapore.
All right, let's go to EMEA. EMEA winners are 1st place, Real Index equals star, 2nd place, YOLOSEC, and 3rd place, Team Fox. Team Fox is not yet chosen to reveal their identities. I assume they're Mysterious Spectre. YOLOSEC, Josh Clark, Liam Stevenson, and Holly Moat, all from NCC Group. And 1st place, Real Index equals star, Ian Howard, Kyle Thompson, Joff Barclock, James Martini, all at Tesco. An obligatory apologies for lack of pronunciation.
And the America winners. Wait for it to pop up here. There exciting. We go. Okay, so if you were on the wrap-up call for the Americas, things have changed a little bit. We did a bunch of calculations and analytics on the back end, and these are the official results. 3rd place, Waiting for Data, made up of Oliver Gehrig, Dominic Mugler, and Dominic Del Vecchio, and 1 anonymous member. 2nd place, Team Consist. So Team Consist has a long and storied history in Boss of the SOC. In fact, they also did extremely well in Boss of the NOC this year. It's made up of a lot of great Splunkers: Sophie Dockstader, Henry Grau, Tom Fletcher, and Martin Mueller. And Martin Mueller is, we call him the world's strongest man in bots land. He's truly amazing, one of the greatest Splunkers you'll ever meet as far as being able to craft SPL queries. Cheers to Martin. Just an amazing competitor and an amazing person. We'll add. 1st place was made up of the B team, also made up of several longtime top performers in Boss of the SOC: Drew Guarino, Omer Yampel from Cyber Reason, Tim Martin from Mandiant, and Ryan Tomsic, also from Mandiant.
Not all at Tesco.
They're not all at Tesco. We didn't escape making at least one final mistake on this slide. So congratulations to the B team. Again, Omer is would challenge Martin for the world's strongest botsman or botswoman.
In fact, if you look statistically, I think Omer has sat upon the throne along with Ryan a couple times here.
Yes, this is like sort of the Hall of Fame of bots. These top 2 teams. So great job, everyone. Really enjoyed this long-time support, and congratulations for some amazing scores, amazing competition, great feedback, and just being great members of the community.
So now the big reveal. But first, a message from our sponsor, Splunk.com, bringing you the best content all year round. Today, brought to you virtually, mostly. Bots 5 global overall winners. 3rd place?
3rd place, the Real Index equals star, which is congratulations, coming out of our EMEA event, made up of Ian Howard, Kyle Thompson, Joshua Barclaw, and James Martin. They all, I believe, are at Tesco.
Yes.
Yes. Great job. 3rd place.
2nd place, Ratatouille. We've already said those wonderful names, so refer back to the earlier Twitch. But yes, you guys did a phenomenal job. Super high scores. But first place goes to
The B team.
the B team. Woo!
Overall Boston Sox winners.
I believe this is a 3 or 4 time win for teams with Omer and Ryan on it. So congratulations. We did not expect for all 3 top places to be from each of the top winners of each region, but it was a very happy surprise. And you'll notice the difference between first and third place was just around 1,500 points. And the difference between the top 6 was all within 3,000. So it was a huge competition. We're super happy. You'll be getting some ridiculous trophies in the mail. We will show some photos of those later on the blog when we have the actual trophy bases. But until then, I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues for some fun statistics and facts about bots.
All right, so we actually had 63 countries represented, not just registered, but actually playing live yesterday, which was tremendous. And so you get a quick shot of where we had folks coming in from all over the world. Unfortunately, not having Antarctica represent, so maybe next year we got something to strive for. So we'll go from there. You notice on September 15th, they started off with 4 registrants. They are not the 4 people on this call. I'm not sure who they were, but thank you for coming on really early. But also thank you for those little pop-ups there as we went farther and farther to the right. We ended up with over 3,700 registrants, including a couple of late bumps there over the past 4 or 5 days. So tremendous amount of turnout, tremendous amount of interest. So much interest that we ran out of servers. If anybody saw your local data center smoking, it might have been us. 2,610 active contestants. When we say active, people answering questions across 966 teams. You see we had 543 in APAC, 727 in EMEA, and 1,340 in Americas. So great job, everyone. Thanks for coming on out. Now, when you were in there, you were very, very busy. We had 71,000 plus answers submitted. 35,000 of them were correct. So over 50% of the submissions were correct answers, or just a hair under. I'm not a math major. We had 33 answers per player submitted on average. 2,100 people put in at least one answer. And then based upon the answers being given, we saw that each player on average was engaged in the game, which keep in mind was what, 4.5 hours? It was 3 hours, 5 minutes, and 48 seconds, which, you know, is I think is pretty tremendous because it's obviously it's a long time. It's a lot of sitting there thinking and grinding away at these things. So tremendous effort by everybody there. Thank you all for coming out and sticking with it. And, you know, like I said, those data centers might have been smoking 6,800 instances. But on the plus side, our scoring servers were very inexpensive, $38. You guys did a lot of stuff. It looks like everybody was kind of a rule follower in the sense of starting very orderly and starting at the beginning of the scenario and working to the right. Each of those pops, as you see, are the start of each scenario. And as you can see, we got a lot of folks handling the ES pieces there and getting a lot of good starts off for the competition, and then moving into the other scenarios and a lot of good answers there being submitted. And at this point, I want to go ahead and start transitioning to the answers and questions to James Brodsky to talk more about them.
Hello. I'm happy to talk about the answers and the questions and very, very interesting information that we pulled out of the data over the past 24 hours or so. This is sort of the return on investment. And so what we're doing here is we're looking at roughly the top 10 questions that were attempted in the competition and how much time on average was spent on each question for each point value. So you can see that there were about 23 and almost 24 minutes spent on that question number 713, and the next one down, 711. Both of those were from the GCP scenario, and they were only 250-point questions. We have to go all the way down to the third line there to see a question from the AWS scenario worth 1,500 points, and that was about 22 and a half minutes. And then the only 2,000-point question in the competition was the hamster steganography question. That's down there. That took, on average, about 17 and a quarter minutes of your time to go through that one in particular. Hit the next slide, please. What we were planning on doing is having some time to go through some of those top questions. However, because we're a little short on time today and we do want to get over to the Boss of the Knock presentation, what we're going to do is we're going to show you a quick slide in the next one on some questions that we might cover if you are interested. And the way for you to tell us whether or not you're interested is send us an email at bots@splunk.com. If there was any particular question that you were really, really interested in looking at, let's go over that one. Drop us a note, and we will put together a Zoom later on to go through those. There's a steganography question somewhere in this deck, though. I think we skipped, though, isn't there?
But first, Splunk IT Boss Swag. If you guys haven't registered for your Splunk Swag, make sure you go here. You're going to get your quick survey, and then you actually get a patch. There was a steganography slide.
There was a steganography question, and there's.
I see where it went. Hold on.
It's up there.
There we go.
There it is. We just hit the button too much. We did get a lot of questions about, hey, are you going to go through any of the steganography questions? Unfortunately, we're actually not going to go through those. Again, we don't really have the time to go through them on this particular broadcast. But here is how they ended up going. For some reason, we actually ended up having 3 steganography questions in the data set this year. One for the APT scenario, one for the remote work scenario, and then one for the Google scenario. As you can see, a significant amount of incorrect questions for each one of those steganography questions. The APT and the GCP scenario steganography question got 12 answers right, and that's across all 3 events. And then the hamster question was only 7 correct answers across all 3 events. Again, we're not going to go through any of these because it's too much fun, and we really don't want to give away the answers to these questions, and they are pretty challenging. But I will personally tell you that if you had any specific questions about the hamster challenge and you got pretty far with it and just kind of want to know the answer or how to get to it, hit me up at brodsky@splunk.com and I'll help you out.
Yeah, we did have a little drama today. The Global Federation of CTFs contacted us, and they let us know that because we put 3 Stego questions in this year, that we cannot have any Stego questions for the next 2 years.
It's a hard affair.
Yeah.
We have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, you can't escape it. So, I don't think we told Brodsky that yet.
No.
But,
No, you didn't. Does that mean I get to go into hibernation for the next 2 years?
You can join your hamster in Syria or wherever it's from.
Wherever it's from, yes.
But with that, we all want to thank you very much. It's so fun to come to you all and bring this weird thing. This was our little command center in a brief maskless time frame as we were getting things done. It's an absolute joy. Personally, I want to say thank you. Dave.
I want to say thank you. I want to thank Ryan. I want to thank everybody, mostly the thousands of people that joined in and played this game, because we appreciate it immensely.
That's all from us. James, thank you very much. John, we'll see you in the office in 2025.
All right. Thank you, Ryan, Dave, James, and John, and everybody. We're going to switch over to give you some credits for the boss of the NOC. But first, I do want to say I very much appreciate the partnership that we have with the boss of the SOC team. As you've seen today or last night or whatever time that was in my sleep-deprived state, you all got to experience a very similar experience for boss of the NOC and boss of the SOC today. We too have done some interesting analysis on all of the data and all of the fun things that we saw. I'm not going to get quite as into it as Ryan and Dave did here, because we're very pressed for time for some cool stuff that's coming up. But we do want to congratulate and celebrate our winners. So I'm going to take a moment and just go through that. And you can see my background here. Cool. I'm going to share this as a presentation, and we're going to go through that. Present. That's the button I wanted. We too had all 3 events, APAC and EMEA and AMER. So we're going to go through the individual winners for each of those events. As Dave kind of mentioned, for the APAC event, we noticed that some people logged in early. That's cool. So this chart shows this, shows how excited you all were to join in. 2020 was the highest participation we've seen for both boss of the NOC and boss of the SOC. We spent nearly 4,000 hours developing it. So I want to give a big round of applause to the team, who I hope is sleeping soundly on their couches right now, who put this together. We discovered 5 real-time episodes that actually occurred throughout the game. And we have the highest point values ever achieved in any of these events, partly due to the way that we put together the questions, but also to your dedication and your experience going through this. We used Discord and Twitch and all those really fun things, and you guys all had a great time. I'm going to actually, if you can forgive me for doing this, I'm going to do this so that you all can see the top 5 winners for the region. I'm just going to make this bigger, send this to the background. So for APAC, our winners were PTML Perfsec, Knock Knock, and TPG and NTT. If you'll notice, like I mentioned, you can see that some people found their way into the server a little bit early, and that's perfectly fine. Oh man, I've messed all these slides up. Silly John. Don't edit while you're doing things live, right? For EMEA, again, the biggest event that we've ever had in region, our winners were the team from Consist. I am not even going to try to pronounce this or pretend to pronounce it, but Vermit and Hiflos and Lumen Lupis in 3rd place for the regional event. For the Amer event, we had a little bit of interesting things going on here, guys. It was super exciting. Team Fluffy is the official 1st place winner. Team Dingo in 2nd, and Cyber Cybc? I don't know. I've never tried to pronounce these things before. In 3rd. We're going to congratulate each of those teams individually, as well as some other teams that deserve some recognition there. But let's talk a little bit about our global winners. We have, for the first time, a dueling winner. So Ryan and Dave mentioned how amazing Mr. Martin Mueller is. He set out a goal, I knew a few weeks ago, of placing in the top 3 events for both Boss of the Knock and Boss of the Sock. And in this case, he turned out and won, along with his team members, Paz, Sockdoc, and Tom F., the Boss of the Knock global 1st place winner situation. So congratulations on a great placement for both Boss of the Sock and Boss of the Knock to the members of that team. The 2nd place winners, we've got here Caboose, Fluffy, and Ken Tatus. We want to congratulate you there. The 3rd place winners, we have a couple of Fezzes and some other folks that are returning customers who love both boss events. We have Marty McFly, X-Pac, Pio, and S. Mugen. We will be contacting all of them individually and getting them all of the cool trophies and everything that they deserve, as well as some other folks where we've got some special awards for folks who didn't necessarily make the 1st place, 2nd place, 3rd place teams, but definitely showed some dedication and some awesome efforts in that. Again, I want to congratulate all of the folks that played. I want to thank you all for continuing to come back year after year to both of these boss events, as well as just kind of dominating with the score, the first ever score in any event, over 100,000 points, and many that were very close to that. I think we're going to end with that. More details to come. You will see in the coming days some emails from myself and Kovar, or in our alter egos, bots.splunk.com and botten.splunk.com, with all of your individual details and credits for what you did as a team. Everybody here did amazing. Everybody, we really appreciate the dedication and the time that you all spent doing these events. It's been so much fun. So much fun. With that, I think we'll sign off of this, and we'll see you soon.